Now there are thousands of gallons of fuel spilled in the Ohio River, and we are learning it was caused by human error. This is a look at the spill you'll see only from Chopper 9, the only helicopter bringing you breaking news in the tri-state. Chopper 9 flying over the river starting at noon today.
It happened at Duke Energy's Beckjord plant, about 20 miles southeast of Cincinnati. Now water companies are working to make sure your water is safe. We're on your side with exactly how they're doing that.
The mayor is announcing just a few hours ago that oil is not in our drinking water.
This and other developments coming into our newsroom, and we're on your side with team coverage of this ongoing investigation. I-Team Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe is digging into Duke Energy's Beckjord Power Station and its history of write-ups. Chopper 9 is flying over the scene, giving you that exclusive look you won't see anywhere else. First, let's go to Jason Law. He's live at the scene with the very latest on the cleanup. Jason.
Yeah, we're outside of the plant here in New Richmond. The EPA just held a press conference less than an hour ago. They say the estimate is now between 4,000 and 5,000 gallons of diesel fuel oil spilling out of this plant into the Ohio River. And the EPA officials say they've been able to recover about 750 gallons.
A spokeswoman for Duke Energy says human error likely caused the spill that dumped thousands of gallons of oil into the Ohio River.
It wasn't as if something failed. We had alarms that did sound that notified us that we did have an issue with an overflow situation.
Duke says the spill happened while oil was transferred into a tank. A valve was left open for 10 or 15 minutes, leaving an oil plume around 5 miles long floating down the river.
We have about 15 miles of river impacted at this point.
Stephen Renninger with the Environmental Protection Agency says crews are cleaning up the mess with orange booms that deflect the oil into a nearby truck. When Greater Cincinnati Water Works learned of this spill, they immediately closed their valves. Experts say our drinking water is unaffected. Mayor John Cranley is so confident the drinking water is safe, he took a sip and pretended to choke in front of a room full of reporters.
Out of an abundance of caution, we have decided to leave the intake valves closed, as we did in January on a similar situation with the West Virginia spill, until we are confident that the oil plume has left the vicinity.
The U.S. Coast Guard actually shut down the Ohio River 15 miles south of where we are in New Richmond, but I was told again in that press conference at 4 o'clock that the closure has come to an end, so the Ohio River is once again open to boaters and people who want to get out on the water. That 5-mile-long plume is expected to pass through our area, Cincinnati, sometime later tonight. Now we're going to go up to the sky to Dan Carroll in Chopper 9 with a little aerial perspective of what he's seeing here in New Richmond. Dan?
And from here in Chopper 9, we're looking at the Beckjord plant, and you can still see, and quite frankly, I'm surprised that I can still see this, a discoloration in the water from here at the plant. And on the way here, we saw this afternoon what we could not see earlier today because of the way the sun was hitting the water, a sheen of oil, that fuel oil, that diesel fuel that is hugging the Ohio side of the coastline. It sort of goes out towards the middle of the river here, then all the way back down towards Coney Island and the Combs-Hale Bridge. It gets closer to the shoreline, and at some points extends out only 10 or 20 feet out to the river. But if you've got a boat like these people do parked along the Ohio shoreline, don't be surprised if you find that you have a little coating or a little layer of diesel fuel that gets stuck to your boat. I'm Dan Carroll in Chopper 9.